Welcome to a surprise podcast because it is New Year's Eve and I wanted to give you guys something. I am so excited that you're here with me today. We're going to be talking about a lot of important topics about being the light and how to be the light. It might have been a rough year, it might have been a good year. Either way, this next year is everything that you make it. And that sounds so cliche, but it's so true. And one thing I've been practicing lately is gratitude. Gratitude has been just helping me so much realize that there are good things here. I was going through my photos from the past year. I wanted to make a little Facebook post. I ended up having 80 photos, and all I could remember before looking at those photos was getting fired from my job, was going through a divorce, was being a single mom. Everything was consuming my brain, telling me that, hey, this year was awful. But then I looked at the pictures and I realized, hey, I was let go from a job that I would have been stuck at for a long time because I thought I loved it. That freed up so much space for me for my podcast. Look at me. I have all these babies. I have 2 babies that I get to play with, and we had so many adventures and so many fun times, and all I could remember before that was for the past few months we've been inside, and all I could think of was, "My babies never go outside. They never see sun. Nothing's ever gonna get better. I'm a bad mom." And then I realized every single month in Alaska where there was light out, we were playing outside, we were doing so many fun things, and I didn't realize that because I was just in this mindset of it's dark, everything's bad. And I forgot how good things were when the sun was out. And so looking back at these pictures, it just really helped me with that. I encourage you maybe to look at pictures from the last year and pick out little things. You'll be surprised about all the things that you find that you just really had fun doing and you really enjoyed and you just forgot about. This ties into gratitude because once we're focused on the things that bring us joy and the things that are good in our life, we start attracting it. We start realizing that, wow, there is good in my life. Because just like me, all I saw was darkness until I saw the good that I had in my photos. And I didn't realize it. So this year, I'm going to be more mindful how lucky I am to have my 2 kids. How lucky am I to be able to do a podcast? I'm so excited for this new year because the new year is a time that we can change and it is a time that we can become better people. It's just a fresh start and it's my favorite time of year because I get to set new goals. I encourage you to go into every day this year and just find one good thing about the day, if nothing else. And everyone says to journal, and I'm so bad at it, but this is something that I'm going to challenge you to do, and I'm going to challenge myself to do. And that is to journal every day and just put one thing that happened that was good. If that's all that's in your journal, hey, at the end of the week, you'll have 7 good things that happened that week. At the end of the month, you'll have 30 some odd things that happened that were great that month. At the end of the year, you'll have 365 things that happened to you that were good this year. And then you'll be able to look at 365 days of good things. While we're talking about things we're going to do next year, one thing that I will always, always do is spread the light. I'm going to be the one that's positive, not fake positive, but looking for those things that are good, looking towards things, building things, looking towards the future, having goals. That is something we need to do to keep looking forward because if not, this world seems so gloomy. And everything in me wants you to find the light this year and be the light. The ways you can do that, like I mentioned earlier, having gratitude, writing down in your gratitude journal. Another thing I like to do, this could involve money and it could not, depending on your financial situation. I like to pay it forward. You can do that at a coffee shop, paying for the person behind you. If you don't have money to spend on people, what you can do is something I also did when I was very broke this year. I picked flowers, and you don't have to pick flowers. You can do something else. You can make a little craft at home, or you can make a little sourdough starter and dry it up and give it to friends. But I just packaged the flowers really cute with a little ribbon on them with a little note. And I drew flowers on the notes, and I decided that that day what I was going to do, since I was unemployed and didn't have a job, I ran around town delivering the flowers to my friends, and it really brightened their days. And it's just little things like that that we can do to be that light for others. It could be seeing someone at church that doesn't quite look like they belong. Go up to them because they belong as much as you do. And go up to them and just ask them, "Hey, is this your first time here? Hey, who are you? How are you? Can I pray for you?" Always end it with a prayer, because I've been learning so much that prayer, just praying with someone, taking the time out of your day to ask someone if you can pray with them, it touches them. I just saw it last week. I was serving at the Christmas thing at my church, and there was a lady there. She said it was her first time there, so I went up to her after the service and I asked her about everything. I asked if there's anything she needed prayer for, and she said no. And then I said, "Well, I'm going to pray with you anyways." And I just said a prayer and I let the Holy Spirit speak for me. And it was so powerful because when I opened my eyes, she was crying. This lady that, "No, nothing's wrong. I don't need any prayers." Like, I just offered it to her anyways. And something in her moved because God gave me the words to speak to her. And I'm so thankful for that experience, because I realize how important it is to go out of our routine sometimes and just pray for that person, get out of our comfort zone and pray for that person. It really means so much. And anytime someone's asked me if they can pray for me, I remember it, because it is just such a meaningful thing and it only takes a minute or two. You can practice this by just saying prayers out loud. I really love to be in the car and talk to God while I'm driving. And that also helps me because the first time I ever prayed for someone, which was only a couple months ago, it was intimidating. And you might not do the best job, but it doesn't matter because it's not about you. It's about God, and it's about allowing the Holy Spirit to speak. So if you practice in your car and you practice praying for people out loud, it gives you that more confidence. But just know the first time you pray for someone out loud with them, it might feel a bit awkward. You might feel like you did a bad job, but you did a great job. And just keep going, because it gets easier every single time you do that. And I'm learning that now. So, to recap, we're being the light by first finding the light inside of us, by having gratitude and being thankful to God for everything we have. And second, by paying it forward, giving that light out to others, being that light for the community. And third is to pray for people, because that impacts the kingdom. I will see you guys next week for my first podcast episode of the year. We're going to talk about the messy stuff. We're going to talk about the things that people don't really talk about, because I think it's so important. And along the way, I'm going to have stories that relate to these things, because I think it's so important to not feel alone. And a lot of times we can feel alone, but there's so many people that have these same experiences as us. We're just scared to open up about it. And I'm going to be the little sacrifice, open myself up, and tell you guys all about my life, the good and the bad, because it all made me who I am. And I'm really proud of going through all the hard times. And hopefully, it'll help you guys to realize that you're also just a human. Because I had to realize that, hey, I'm just a human. I'm allowed to have mistakes. I'm allowed to mess up sometimes. I'm allowed to have hard times. And I'm really excited to share that with you guys. This is going to be a really good year, and we're going to be in this together. I love you guys so much, and I'm so thankful that you listen to my podcast, because it's just such a fun way for me to get a message out about God and about how we can just make our lives better. Thank you for listening to this little ramble, and I can't wait to see you in the next year.